And now to the topic we have at hand, which you've seen the preamble from the break. That is political crisis in Rivers State and probably some peace restoration or total peace restoration, because that should be our target everywhere we are in Nigeria. So first, let us first take a look at the situation we have on ground. So once again, because this is not the first time this is happening, it is just like we had a pause, and this is a continuation of the rift that is going on between the Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara and the past governor of Rivers State, that is Nyesom Wike. And then we still have threat of impeachment, despite the fact that the president had once intervened, the signed peace pact, but then we still have commissioners resigning. They are talking about toxic workforce and all that, workplace situation and all that. So how do you assess this whole situation?
It's unfortunate that the former governor, the minister for Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has gone back totally on the word. Shows he's not a man of his word. Totally unreliable. Because he has said many times that once he leaves office, he will not tamper with whoever the governor is. He will not interfere. And he will respect the authority of the governor. But once he left office, he has started a war with the governor. The governor has exposed him in many ways that it's all about control of the budget of Rivers State. We can control the budget as he should when he was governor. Now he wants to continue to control the budget to favor him. A list was published last week by the Fubara administration showing the trillions of dollars of assets that Wike has caused in debt in Rivers State left behind. And the properties, humongous number of properties worth billions of naira, hundreds of billions, that he amassed. So here is a man that is totally without credibility, without integrity. Now, the senators, the state senators who say they want to impeach Fubara have been totally demobilized by the courts. They cannot even sit as members of the state assembly. So how can they impeach Fubara? It's just a lot of smooth screen, a lot of talk. Wike is fighting and appearing to be strong. He's still a strong man. He keeps on fighting, but he's going nowhere. Since they cannot impeach the governor, then what's the second thing? The reason why the commissioners resigned is probably they realized that their faction has lost control totally in Rivers State. Since the senators who had the power to give the governor problems can no longer sit by the order of the courts of Nigeria. So,
okay, all right, but for the time, one of the things they mentioned was toxic work environment. That is part of the reason that they said that they are leaving. Do you think that perhaps at one point or the other, Governor Siminalayi Fubara might have done some things? Because it is obvious that these people are against him, they are not for him. Do you think that it is possible that these people fear some witch hunting, maybe passive, maybe directly to them, and that is the reason they are communicating their fear, and then they just left the cabinet before things
I'll be honest with you. There is a war going on between the two factions. And in politics, politicians are here today, gone tomorrow, gladiators. We fight all the time. They have fought and they have lost. They realize, why would they know what is toxic? How can you work with the governor as commissioner when you were imposed on the governor by the enemy of the governor? Wike imposed them, made them commissioners, forced them on the governor. The governor accepted them. But they themselves should know that they cannot operate in that environment. They are no longer bona fide members of the party. They cannot operate. So their living, as I said before, must have something to do with the fact that they realize that Wike has lost that totally. He has become a burden on the president. He has become a serious burden on the president. Very soon, Tinubu will distance himself from Wike. Otherwise, he will pull him down. I mean, he just get problem after problem. They have to take it easy. The court said this. He's fighting the courts. So how far can he go? This is just an appearance of problems, just creating unnecessary turmoil. In reality, there's nothing they can do to the governor. Fubara is the governor, and notice the number of leaders in Rivers State who support Fubara, who are coming out, who used to be allies of Wike, who are coming out now and saying enough is enough. Not to talk of the masses of the people. Of course, Wike has maybe 10%, 20% support in Rivers State. But 70%, 80% is with the government. So this is the situation, I think.
Okay, all right.
Too much attention. I don't think he deserves it anymore.
All right, you were saying that they should stop giving attention to Wike, but we cannot deny, like you said previously, that he does have some supporters in Rivers State. What do you think maybe at some point could have necessitated that sympathy that the people there could have for him, and they would stand with him 100%, despite the fact that it might be obvious that they might be on the losing side?
In a democracy, it's all about the numbers. If he has 20% support, he has lost out. He was governor for 8 years. He had all the support then. He had the financial strength, the political strength to control the state. So of course you see he has some people he has done favors to, and he has people who belong to his, maybe his ethnic group, sub-ethnic group. He has friends. If Satan comes from wherever he is now to the world, he will have supporters too. The issue is we pray to God that he doesn't have more than 10% or 20% like Wike in Rivers State. That is all we say. So he doesn't have support in Rivers State. That's the way you should look at it, really, if so many people are against him. Take the known leaders in Rivers State. Out of 10 most important leaders in Rivers State, 7 of them are not with Wike anymore. Maybe they started up by saying, let's settle this issue, let's make peace, let's reconcile. But after so many attempts, everybody has seen that the man is intransigent. He's so belligerent, he cannot change. He keeps fighting. He said something before. I've studied this man, and it is a pity. He said when he's fighting, he doesn't look back. That is a suicidal human being. Anybody who fights and doesn't realize that you have to think, if things are not good, he who fights and looks back lives to fight again. He who fights and doesn't look back is looking for his own destruction. Prudence is the better part of valor. This man doesn't know it yet. I mean, look at all the recordings. If it's another country where democracy and communication is clear, Wike would just be politically buried. Look at the video he's made. I will never leave PDP. May God punish me if I leave PDP. May God punish me and my children if I leave PDP. Huh? Now, all his actions, which are louder than words, says he's no longer supporting PDP. I will never do anything to support, to undermine my governor. I put him there. He's my son. He's my boy. Now he's doing everything to undermine him. Therefore, here is a man without integrity. We should just leave him alone. Don't give him too much publicity.
Okay, but we already have the situation on hand. We can't cry over spilt milk, but we can try to salvage what we have at hand to make this situation as pleasant as possible, for this to be resolved to as peacefully as possible. We have some groups once again calling on President Tinubu to come up and probably intervene once more as he has done in the past. Do you think that at this point that might still be a valid solution to the problem that we have at hand?
I think that only the president can put this whole thing in check, because it is the president that he is using to promote himself in Rivers State, saying, yeah, the president is my friend, he will support me against whoever in Rivers State. So he's promoting APC for the president in Rivers State. So, but the president understands that power is with the people, and it is not in the interest of President Tinubu to continue to support this man. But the president, I'm sure, at some point very soon, would have to say something, because he's getting out of hand now. Will the president tell Wike that the court is wrong, that he supersedes the court? President does not supersede the court. Even though PDP has said from the onset that once you defect and leave the party, you are no longer, since the 11th of December last year, 2023, 11th December, those 27 lawmakers have ceased to be members of PDP. And if you cease to be member of the party that brought you into the office, you cease to be in the office. That is what PDP said, which is the law. Now, PDP took it to court, and the court affirmed it and said, you gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, you are no longer members of the State Assembly of Rivers State. So, what does President Tinubu do? What the president should do is to stand by the law and tell Wike, this is the law, this is out of my hands. This is out of my hands. Let the law take its course. That's what the president should do. And I feel that that is what the president is going to eventually have to do, so that there'll be peace. You know, when two groups are fighting, somebody must be put in check. And how do we do it? By the Constitution, by the law. That's the only way. A man or woman who does not believe in the law, rule of law, is an enemy of the state. Am I wrong? So the way Wike is going now, you challenge the law court, you do this and you do that, eventually he will end up in serious trouble with the Nigerian Constitution.
Okay, you mentioned something about like letting the law play its part. Do you think that at this point, because one of the main issue we had in all this problem is because the lawmakers defected from PDP to APC, do you think that we might have reached a time where we should declare cross-carpeting illegal in Nigeria?
Probably. It has caused a lot of rift, a lot of commotion in all the parties. You remember what happened in PDP? Basically nearly destroyed PDP in 2015. A lot of leaders, you can't even mention them because it's like, it's embarrassing. So many people in APC now, from the national chairman to the national secretary, they're all formerly from PDP. I think that is something that should go into the law. And it is, you know, there's some law that you make that is not in the interest of one party or the other. It is the interest of the nation. So I agree. If they had defected from APC to PDP, I would take the same position. You know why? I have no choice. Because the law will say the same thing. That's it. So you're right. If we can have it in the law of this country, that you just can defect overnight, and then you say you are member of the... So you're right that even though the law has caught up with these 27, but if they were not in the assembly, if they were not in office, they will still be able to cross over and cause confusion in the PDP. So there should be a law. It will help. It will help to stabilize politics in Nigeria.
Okay, all right. Now let us hear the view of Comrade Darlington Onwa-Ojo, who is the Publicity Secretary, Rivers APC. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us on Firecrackers. Okay, all right. Now, we are discussing the political crisis currently going on in Rivers State.
I can hear you.
Let us first, yes. All right, thank you very much for that. So let us first of all have your assessment on the situation of things going on in Rivers State right now.
Well, what I think is that my assessment of what is happening in the state is that there's plenty of political brickbats, several back and forths, and like I've told some of the persons around me, I've said that the law of karma is actually at work. When the current FCT minister had said so much in time past, which has come to haunt him, and it shows the lessons for us as Nigerians is that we must be careful what we say today, because tomorrow it might come haunting us. So for me, I think that it is not yet uhuru for peace in Rivers State. We still need to do some papering of the political situation in order to simmer tensions and avoid unnecessary violence, because this is a state that has a checkered political history. If you recall, in 2015, we had plenty of violence recorded and registered by not just...
All right, now, before we move away from this topic, I'd like to ask my guests here in the studio, going forward, what could be done to ensure that the seat of the governor is not so much as underestimated as we have seen in this situation? Because if we ask public opinion, what a lot of people were saying was the governor of Rivers State, that's Siminalayi Fubara, was severely disrespected. He was not given the honor he was supposed to be given as the governor of the state. We know that the lawmakers are there to act as check and balances, but it seemed like an insubordination, and which some people in public has frowned upon. So going forward, how do we ensure that we have minimal interference from outsiders when it comes to governance in states?
This is a democracy. You cannot stop that. Anybody, you remember one incident, George Bush, President of America, went somewhere. Somebody threw shoe at him. That's politics. That's democracy. People must express, they can express their view. The point is, what do you do about it? If you insult the governor in a way that is illegal, that's against the law, you'll be arrested, you'll be taken to court. So, but for you to say something must be done, can be done to stop people from disrespect, no. There's a fight going on. By the way, something just occurred to me. Based on your suggestion, or rather your question, that we should probably consider banning crossover, I think what is probably worse than crossover is not crossing over and not being on either side of the parties. And that's what Wike is doing. What I think the president should do is to tell Wike to come and join APC. Renege your membership of PDP and join APC. If you don't come and see me anymore. Because this is what is causing the greatest problem. APC don't want Wike. He's not a member of their party. And it's creating problems for them. You heard what the public secretary was saying. The things he has said is that Wike coming to haunt him. As I said before, you know, he made so many comments. So now, he should either, because he's creating problems in PDP and creating confusion in APC, Nobody should be allowed to do that. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should hold him accountable. Why we make you minister for Federal Capital Territory? You cannot focus on both places. So choose one. Either you go back and stay in PDP, or you come and join APC. But the way you are now, promoting your people to come to APC and you are staying in PDP, no. If you want to be in APC, if you want your people to be in APC, all of you bring your people and join APC. So we are saying it now. I'm saying it as a member of PDP. I don't speak for the party. But when Wike says he's a member of PDP, I wonder why. He wants to have his cake and eat it. It won't work. Go, Mr. Wike, go and join APC.
Okay, but could we not also put some responsibility too on the PDP, because since he is a member of the party, and if there are evidences that he is engaging in some anti-party activities, is it not the party's responsibility to call him to order?
Well, you are right. The party can call him to order, and I think the party is doing all it can, but with his friendship and association with the President of the Federal Republic, and the fact that he was a former governor, former well-known leader in PDP, it is difficult, you know, this is a democracy. Again, it's difficult to just say, we're going to discipline you and we're going to stop you from, no, you can't stop him from talking. Hopefully he will talk himself into a ditch. He will do things that will get him into trouble, as is going on now. APC in Rivers State don't want him. APC nationally don't want him. PDP, I can tell you that most of our members that I know don't want him. So we'll see how far he can go. But this is what is in the democracy. You cannot stop people from creating problems until they get to a point where the law will catch up with them. So far, Wike is still able to dangle between the two. But very soon, and that's why I'm appealing to the President of the Federation to call him to order. Come and join APC. Bring all your people to APC. Leave these PDP people alone.
All right, thank you very much, sir.